sensitive? Why everybody so sensitive? Does anybody even give? We feeling babies up with medicine. Yeah.
Ooh, sipping on juice, sitting in the coupe, thinking about school, thinking about you. Come through, sniffing on blue, sniffing on.
What's up, everybody? My name is Chris Mohead, aka Rob Savage, and we're here again with another episode of 600 Seconds with HYLO Art. And before we get started, make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe, because we got a very special guest in the building today who goes by the name of
TAMMAKA Staley. Hey, y'all.
Y'all give it up for TAMMAKA Staley.
What up?
How you doing today, Miss TAMMAKA?
I am doing well. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic.
That is amazing. Every day is a holiday.
Absolutely.
So we here.
Absolutely. Before we get started, can you look at that camera and let the people know what it is that you do?
So what's up, everybody? It is TAMMAKA, your sibling, your favorite poet's favorite poet, your favorite sex educator, and I am a person that curates decolonized comprehensive sex ed workshops, and I also perform spoken word for various events. That's what I do.
Awesome. How did you get started with the poetry?
Literally, it was like I was given a book when I was, I think, in 6th grade. It was a book of poems, and I read a poem in there called Gotta Read the Label, Y'all. And it was by Geoffrey Johnson, and I was just inspired. So the poem was basically about how food labels kind of impact our lives, and they infiltrate black communities in a negative way sometimes, and create different negative health outcomes, and you know how food is another way of structural racism, essentially. So yeah, it was a dope poem, and I was like, oh, I love talking about social justice issues, but the way that I can do it, like in an artsy and creative way, like I want to do that. So that just made me want to start writing raps. So I started writing raps first. I love rap, and then I started writing poems from there, and it just kind of sparked off. Like I started actually saying my poems out loud, and people didn't run or throw tomatoes. So I was like, well, all right, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna be a poet. So yeah, and I just literally kept doing it until I got where I'm in now.
That's what's up, and you're great at it too. You're killing it out here.
Thank you. I receive it.
Yeah. Who are some of your biggest influences?
James Baldwin, definitely. Zora Neale Hurston, Nikki Giovanni, definitely. Antizaki Shange, love Antizaki. Audre Lorde, amazing poet. Also, Marsha P. Johnson is a big influence for me, just on the social side, because a lot of my work talks about the lived experiences of black folks, especially black women, girls, and femmes living in the South, and the fact that she was this black trans woman up against so much adversity and still found the strength and resilience to fight for what she believed in, despite anything going on around her, and literally dedicated her life to the work. And that's an art in and of itself for me. So to be a poet, to be a black woman, a black queer woman, and writing the stories that I write, it's giving life, it's speaking life to power, and really putting out into the world what needs to be said that people are sometimes thinking but may not have the space or the access to be able to do that. So yeah, that's all the huge influences for me in the writing part and the technique, but also in just really telling your story and being very radical about, you want some shit to change, you gotta do something different. And yeah, so that really fuels a lot of inspiration for me.
Yeah, I feel you. And I feel like a lot of the best art comes from somebody speaking on something that somebody's too uncomfortable to talk about.
Absolutely.
And things like that. So I respect it. Yeah. I'm assuming TAMMAKA Staley is your real name.
It is. It is my birth name from my mama and my daddy, And I used to actually go by Queen T. That used to be a stage name.
Yeah.
So a little story about that.
Okay.
Is I was given the name by a friend at the time. That's when the king and queen sayings and greetings was becoming more popular. I think it's always been a thing that black folks have done, but at the time when I started to hear it, I was like, okay, we greet each other, king and queen. That's dope. I like that, But then over time, I started to see a shift in the meaning and the connotation of queen, and how it started to become like a pedestal. Like, people would only call you a queen if you covered up, or you only can be a queen if you are religious, or you only can be a queen if you're a good girl, quote unquote, whatever that means. So I was like, well, I really don't want to be attached to respectability politics in that way. So I just started going by my actual name, and my actual name is just really dope. So I wanted to, I think names hold power, and we reclaim a lot of shame and resistance when we just uplift our actual name. So I just want to start going by my name for that reason, but also because I just really love my name. So,
I feel that. That actually answered my question, was what made you want to go with your real name rather than a stage name. And that's a great answer.
Right, absolutely.
Talk to us about Talks with TAMMAKA.
Talks with TAMMAKA, yeah. So that is my performance platform, right? That is soon will be a brand at some point. I'm in the works of making it a brand because I learned there's a difference between a platform and a brand. Brands make money, right? And brands have a lot of logistics that go into that. So I want to be very specific about it's a platform because it creates influence. It is a part of my livelihood and what I do for a living, but it is online right now, and that's where I house all of my poetry. I do a lot of talks on my page. If you go to my page, you'll see a lot of videos with me giving commentary, social commentary about different things going on in the world. So common events that might pop up that's about gender, racial, sexuality, inequities, and issues. I give my feedback and opinions and some facts and history about some of those things to, give people insight. So a lot of people see stuff going on, but sometimes they look to people to really break down the issue and give feedback and perspective in a different way. And so I feel like my perspective is pretty lit, and I like a history head to the max. So I'm always adding different little nuggets that people might not know of what led to this current event that's attached to something in our past. So that's Talks with TAMMAKA, arts platform, artivism platform. So I combine my poetry with activism to give y'all commentary and feedback and entertainment all in one.
Word, yeah. And where can they support that? Talks with TAMMAKA?
So at Talks with TAMMAKA on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. So that's at Talks with TAMMAKA, TAMMAKA. That's where you can find me.
Yes, ma'am. All right. What do you feel like is the best work that you've done so far?
Best work I've done so far. Ooh, that's a big one.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Best work. I would have to say best work I've done so far, I'm going to say the Kennedy Center. I was a guest poet in a choreography piece, actually. It was a national dance conference in Washington, D.C. at the Kennedy Center for performing arts. And a friend of mine choreographed this piece, but she wanted me to narrate her movement with one of my poems. And so the poem is called Black Girl Smile. But the first line of it is, don't ask the black girl to smile. So she did this whole piece as a dedication to her mom and black women that have come before her, our struggles, our joys, our ups, our downs. And yeah, that was the first time that a poet has been at this big dance conference before. And her piece actually won the first prize for like best choreography, best dance piece. Yeah, and it was dope. And we went through a series of like rounds regionally, and then we came to the national competition for that. So I think that was my best work, just because it touched so many people that may have never seen poetry in that kind of way. And it was just very black, like in the Kennedy Center, like you got this black girl from South Carolina, we out here talking about black women and radical, it was just a monumental moment to be able to show up for my ancestors and my foremothers in that way. So yeah, I think
that's amazing. And y'all won the overall thing?
Yeah.
That's what's up. Congrats on that. Y'all can clap it up for that.
Yeah, it was good. Shout out to Tiara Jacobs. She was the choreographer of that piece. Beautiful dancer.
Okay, a little bit off of business.
Okay.
What's your favorite movie of all time? What do you watch?
Favorite movie of all time, 5 Heartbeats.
5 Heartbeats.
Love the 5 Heartbeats.
My mama love that movie. Look at it.
Nights like this. It's a classic.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely a classic.
It's a classic, yeah. If you could work with one creative, collab with one creative, dead or alive, who would it be?
Oh, that's a tough one too. Just one?
Yeah, you can give us a couple.
Okay, I'm gonna do one. I would really say Audre Lorde. Yeah, I would really say Audre Lorde. Amazing poet and storyteller. So that's definitely number one for me. But I'm gonna give another one. Music-wise, Alex Isley.
You said
Alex Isley, yeah.
Okay.
I would love to do something with Alex Isley for sure. Yeah. And Issa Rae. Okay, that's it.
Issa Rae?
Yes, Issa Rae, girl.
Okay,
Hit me up, girl.
All legends, in my opinion. You have any advice for anybody watching?
Any advice? Just general advice or like artist advice? What kind of advice?
Some advice for somebody who maybe wants to be in a similar position, maybe want to do poetry or.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. I feel like know your why. Like, what's your why? Are you a person that is into writing and poetry, and you just love it because you just love it? And because I don't think everything has to be a business. I chose that route, and I'm grateful that I get to do what I love for a living. But it doesn't always have to be that to create an impact, and I think that that's the misconception. So if you know why you're doing it, if it's something that you just love and you enjoy, just do that. But if it's something that you really want to create, like a global impact, and you want to make a whole lot of money from something, then that can kind of shift your trajectory of how you're going to do it. Because a lot of people spend a lot of money and time in studio, and they just love poetry. And then you waste a lot of energy and a lot of money when you just really want to just love poetry. And it doesn't always have to be this grandiose type of thing. But know your why. I definitely would say that. And I would say find somebody that is doing what you want to do too, and try to learn from them. Like somebody that's actually doing what you want to do
Successfully.
And success is very subjective. Again, you got to know your why. What does success look like to you? Is it awards and accolades and attention? Is it impact? Is it a little bit of both? So I think once you figure out that why, but definitely getting somebody that's doing what you want to do, and learning from them, and accepting what resonates from you, and then you leave the rest, because their journey ain't gonna be your journey. But I think it's helpful to just see in real time, because a lot of people can say that they're a poet or they're a spoken word artist, and may not be doing, or it may not look the way that you thought it was gonna look. So I think you just really getting the specifics and the details about how you want to show up in the world with your art. Yeah,
that's great. I appreciate that. That's great advice. I'm gonna take that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is there anything that you wanted to speak on that we didn't touch on today?
I think that's it for me. Well, I do want to just encourage artists out there of any medium to like really be dedicated to the craft, because I think for me that is a little bit of a pet peeve that I have. To see artists, say that they're artists or say they want to do it in a certain way, but then we hear the poems and the hits from the 99s and the 2000s. It's no shade. A classic is a classic.
Right.
But we want to see something fresh. We want to see something vibrant. Going to workshops, editing your work. Going to, or just sitting at the feet of elders. It ain't gotta cost you a lot to just be at your craft. But I think like actually putting time and effort into your work, so that way you can show up the best for you, but also show up the best for your consumers and your audience that's looking to you for this great advice or this great insight, or education and entertainment. So that matters if you putting in the time to sharpen your tools, and never think that you too old or too big to learn and grow and take accountability for how you present this art that you love. Yeah. So.
Absolutely. You have any final shout outs?
Yes, definitely shout out to all of the people that I have learned from. And then, you know who you are if you're in the building, my friends. I love that I'm surrounded by so many people that love me. Vivian Anderson, Zakiya Esper, LaShawn Rimber, all of those. Sade Caldwell's my best friend, people that inspire me and hold me down. And of course, all my ancestors, they walking with us, they shape me, they mold me, they keep me grounded. And shout out to me,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, straight up. Yeah, that's it. Y'all give it up for TAMMAKA Staley.
Thank y'all.
Yeah, you couldn't wait for me. I could get it together. Try to get my together. You couldn't wait for me. I could get it together. Go find you one better. A serious